Hey folks, welcome back to Tech More Tech. I'm Carlo, and in this video I'm going to go over the 5 features that Amazon Alex has that I wish HomeKit had. As always, if you prefer a written version, head on over to techmortech.com or check the link in the description just below that like button. If you're a smart home enthusiast, then you'll know that each of the 3 major ecosystems and voice assistants offer their own pros and cons. Alex offers a huge amount of device compatibility, as well as good voice command capabilities and decent automation controls. Google Home offers excellent voice command capabilities, a large amount of device compatibility, and great integration with the rest of your Google accounts. HomeKit offers the best automation controls, in my opinion, excellent privacy, and local controls. There's no best ecosystem in my opinion, and we're really not going to go over which one is the best, but what if you could have the best of all worlds? I want to specifically look at the different Amazon ecosystem offerings that I wish HomeKit had, and maybe if I'm lucky, Apple will announce some of these at WWDC. So to kick things off, the first thing that Amazon has that I would love to see in HomeKit is the equivalent of Alexgard. For those of you that may not be familiar, Alexgard is kind of like a home monitoring system for when you're away from home. It uses your Echo devices to listen to loud noises such as smoke detectors or windows breaking and will alert you if that happens. It would also function as an away mode that can mimic your habits by turning on the lights in the evening and various other devices like that. I definitely understand why Apple hasn't implemented this quite yet, seeing as HomePod minis only just came out, and it's not like the HomePod was such a huge hit that many users could use the microphones in it to listen for noises. Hopefully, as HomePod minis sell more and more, there will be enough of an audience to justify this kind of a feature, as I'm a big fan of it on my Echoes. However, an away mode could be done without any extra hardware. It just needs to turn on random lights throughout the day, and hopefully it will be enough to make it seem like you're at home when you've gone on vacation or something. Philips Hue even has this within their app, so I see no reason why Apple couldn't add it in the next version of iOS. Next up on my feature wishlist from Amazon to HomeKit is hunches. While I will be the first to admit that this feature still has some wrinkles to iron out even in Amazon, I love the idea of it. For those that may not know, hunches is kind of like the machine learning aspect of your smart home. Let's say when you go to bed each night you say, "Alex, good night," starting that routine. But you left on one of your smart lights. It can then ask you if you want to turn that off as well. So the next time you do that good night routine, it will turn off that light too. Now you may be thinking, HomeKit does something similar by suggesting automations whenever you add a new device, and that is totally true. But this approach is more based on your habits rather than you deciding how the device will be when you first set it up. Lots of people aren't familiar with automations or really know how to set them up, so this could be a way of your home learning your habits and suggesting automations to you to make your life a little bit more comfortable and easier. If Siri could learn our routines and suggest automations based on our behaviors, that would go a long way to making smart homes even smarter. And speaking of automations, I want HomeKit to have the same automation controls that Amazon has. Now to be clear, I think the HomeKit automation platform is the best one out of the big 3. SmartThings is really good as well, and Home Assistant can basically do anything, but that's kind of its own thing. What I really like about Alex's automation systems are the huge amount of actions that can be chosen. It can play audiobooks, give you news briefings, make phone calls, send emails, messages, control the TV, etc. Now, I know that Siri shortcuts can do a similar amount of things, and I really think Siri shortcuts is great, but, and this is a big but, they cannot be done automatically. Siri shortcuts must be manually triggered, and in the world of smart home automations, that makes me feel like a caveman. I would love it if I could automatically send an email when I leave the office, or automatically send a text when I arrive at the grocery store asking if my wife needed anything. These are simple examples, but the possibilities are endless. So basically what I would like for Siri shortcuts to be fully integrated into the automation section of HomeKit, similar to how it's done with Amazon. I realize that some of this is privacy related, but still, I think it's doable. Before we move on, let me know what features you guys wish HomeKit had, either from a different ecosystem or just in general. Let me know in the comments down below. For those of us that are energy conscious, I would love to see an energy dashboard within HomeKit. Amazon has this feature, and while it's not something I necessarily use often, I think it's a great way of showcasing how much energy your smart devices are using and how much you're potentially saving by using them instead of their non-smart counterparts. It will also highlight which devices are being used a lot, and you can be more mindful of turning them off or implementing automations to turn them off for you when they're not necessary. I've long found that the Mac and iPad versions of Home app are terrible uses of space, and I hope that in the near software update we can have a much more modern UI and more useful data being showcased. And speaking of modern UIs, the next Amazon feature that isn't really a feature but rather a product. Yes, I would love to see the HomePod version of an Echo Show. Just the other day we got a hint of HomeOS, which could imply that there will be a new piece of hardware that will have its own distinct OS, similar to how Apple TVs run tvOS. The Echo Show and Nest Hub are some of my favorite smart home products as they prompt me with relevant information throughout the day. I love having visual cues to smart home prompts like weather, news, timers, etc. While they aren't anything special when it comes to smart home control, they are great for checking on doorbells or security cameras, for example, which I know the Apple TV can do, but if the TV isn't on, by the time it turns on and gets the input and brings up your security feed, that person is long gone. An always-on device like an Echo Show is much more appropriate for those kind of tasks, in my opinion. This would tie in perfectly with the energy dashboard previously mentioned, as it's a good way of showcasing what's using energy at any given time without you having to look for the information yourself. And there you have it, 5 Amazon Alex features that I wish HomeKit had. I realize these aren't all unique to Amazon, but considering it is the largest smart home platform and ecosystem, it makes sense to look at what the competition is doing and implement into HomeKit. WWDC is only one day away at the time of recording, so we shall see what the team over at Cupertino has been working on for the past year. Chances are that the main keynote will only show a few things, but the breakout sessions later in the week will reveal even more details. I will be sure to cover the event and any new features that pop up in the betas, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification icon so you don't miss out on that. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe button for plenty more videos to come. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll get them as best I can. And until next time, see ya.